Alright, so welcome back to my Ayrton Senna F124 driver career mode. Now today we are going to tackle round 8 at my home Grand Prix at Silverstone. Of course it isn't Ayrton Senna's, but it is mine, and for some reason I've never had a good result here on any F1 game in any series, so I'm hoping today that changes. But last episode, wow, that was a true great time to be alive. We had our first sprint Grand Prix weekend and I just mopped the floor with everyone, really. That's as simple as I could put it. I highly recommend you go and watch that video before this one. That isn't just some cheap promo. That video was genuinely fantastic. But yeah, enough of that. Let's get to Silverstone and have a good old crack at quali. Now, I'm not trying to do one of them pre-weekend excuses, but I genuinely have really hurt my wrist. I'm not entirely sure how. I might have laid on it funny, you know when you sometimes do that in bed, it really hurts the day after. So, I'm basically having to almost drive one-handed. A bit like Lance Stroll in Bahrain, you know, just before the race, he had that bicycle accident, and he was half driving one-handed. Was it him or was it Daniel Ricciardo? I don't remember. Anyway, so yeah, that's going to hamper me a little bit, but don't worry, I am still confident we can have a good result. Everything's ready to go. Let's get out there for quali hot lap number 1, where we will learn the track, learn when to brake, learn when to turn, all that usual stuff. Hang on a minute, I have another pre-weekend excuse, and that is going to be I think this one is a little more serious. This is actually the first time I'm ever driving on this track on this game. So I have no idea how the car's going to be, or basically anything about it, but of course I know Silverstone, the track, you know, like I completely forgot about it. It should be relatively the same, although of course they did do that massive update to the track. Well, they said it was massive, but it doesn't look that different. But anyway, through turn 1, easily flat. Now turn 2, you got to avoid that inside curb, a little bit more on the outside than I'd like to. Tuck it in, be careful on throttle on the exit, get on that exit. Whoa, okay, I've gone off already. Don't. Well, I was trying to do my, you know, commentate mid-lap kind of thing, and instantaneously, I'm already off. Now, I don't really have time to do a second lap, and then a third lap. So, this is actually a big problem. So it seems what I'm going to have to do is just one lap at the end, even though I know nothing about this track. Great. What an idiot. I mean, like, come on, it's corner, like, 3 on my first lap, and I end up going off and put it in the gravel, for God's sake. So yeah, I don't have enough time to go and do 2 more runs, which means I'm just going to have to go to the end of the session, put some new tyres on. And even though I have never driven at this track before, in any session, I need to somehow pull a lap together that's good enough for this sort of area. Oh, goodness gracious me, it's a catastrophe in waiting. Oh my goodness! What have I just done? Oh! Alright, we take that. Come on! Out of bleeding nowhere. What in the name of all that is holy have I just achieved? My first ever lap around this track, and I go and get a pole position. Yeah! Blech, blech, what is that? Behemoth. Okay, now some would say I might have the difficulty a bit low. I'm playing on 109. What more do you want from me? 109 difficulty. Half a second on pole? Come on then. Lando Norris in P3 as well. That's a great result for the McLaren Formula 1 team. And also, Max Verstappen, our title rival, having a bit of a rotter in P6. I will start this Grand Prix 5 cars ahead of our championship rival. Oh my goodness. there's only one thing for it. We're going to get to race day, and I'm upping that difficulty one more to 110. Come on. Alright, so here we are on the grid, starting in P1. This is, of course, my technically third pole position in a row, because obviously I got pole in the Austria sprint race and the main race. But I'm massively looking forward to this race. I think that for the first time ever on a YouTube series, I can actually go for a podium, maybe a win at my home Grand Prix. So let's make sure the fuel is low enough. I always like to carry like 1.2 extra laps of fuel, but that's sometimes a bit wrong, so I'm just going to play it safe and add 2 laps of extra fuel. The strategy is also fairly basic, a soft to medium, and the strategists back at the McLaren headquarters, they believe that the soft tyres aren't actually going to wear that much. 35% after 8 laps really isn't a lot. We'll see how it goes, but I'm ready, I'm pumped, and let's go. Round number 8 of the Senna career mode at my home Grand Prix. Of course, it isn't Senna's, but we are away, and it's a lot of wheel spin off the line. Here comes Chile round the inside, and I'm going to lose out of place to Carlos Sainz at the start, but now I can dive down the inside of turn 2, make sure I avoid that inside curb, get an okay exit, but now I've got the outside line, which is of course not what you want. But don't worry, there's still another straight, and this is where I can test my straight line speed, and it does seem to be very, very strong. Now to the inside, this is actually the line I don't want. I would rather the outside line, but in we go. I'm going to push Sainz off a little bit, and we are still wheel to wheel. Round sector 1 at the start of sector 2, and Sainz once again takes the position. What is going on? But here I come again. Oh no, 2021 flashbacks are coming. Oh no, here we go. Round cops, flat out, and I take the position to keep P1. What a bloody battle that was. My goodness gracious, what a time to be alive. I managed to hang on to P1 through the opening 2 sectors. I go off a little bit there. That final corner of Maggotts and Beckett's little sector have been troubling me a lot. Now we go down the hangar straight. Will Sainz go for a move? I doubt it. Now, I need to try and save some ERS now. I used upwards of 75% on that lap. So, even though I'm not going to gain any time because I've turned my ERS off, as Sainz goes massively off in the third to final corner. And at the end of lap 1, I am going to keep the lead. But now, it's a McLaren 1-2. But like I was saying, I'm trying to save ERS, because I used quite a lot on that opening lap, but, I mean, I should have, because I wouldn't have kept P1 otherwise, but honestly, with Lando Norris right behind me, of course, he isn't going to hang back, he's going to go for a move if he sees fit. I feel a lot more comfortable having my teammate right behind me, and depending on race pace, I might try and tow him along in the DRS. I tried to do that in, I forgot which track, it might have been Austria. But that didn't exactly work, because Lando was actually slightly faster than me for a while. Fastest sector 1 though, we are cooking. Already back up to 80% ERS, which is exactly what you want. No one's going to go for an overtake unless Charles Leclerc is attempting something wild, but he doesn't in the end. And now we can just vibe. This is where I've been struggling a lot. I think I need to just brake a bit more and then turn more. Yeah. Okay, cool. So here comes Lando Norris with DRS. He's going to go to the outside for a move. I have a bit more straight line speed though, even with his DRS. Thank God I saved all that ERS, because I would have been finished. Just a small bit of defending, a yellow flag coming out near the back of the grid, I believe. And that's going to be a fastest lap for me, but then Norris instantly nabs it. Here comes Lando Norris again, and honestly, he's flying. I might just let him go and just try and stick in his DRS and then undercut him later on. That sounds like quite a crazy plan, but I mean, he's going to get past me anyway. He is rapid, and so is everyone else, to be fair. I thought I'd sort of be clearing off a little bit, but the entire opposite is happening. I'm actually nowhere near the fastest car on the track right now. In fact, the fastest lap went a whole 9/10 quicker than me last lap, so a little concerning, but we move. This is a bit awkward. I'm going to have to go for a move on my teammate, and the Ferraris are going after each other as well. I do a lovely move on Lando Norris, just completely outclassing him through that corner. And the Ferraris are still scrapping with each other, I believe. But I am going to reclaim my P1. That could honestly be the play. Let Lando go past. down the first DRS and then re-overtake on the second DRS. That could be a play to not only increase lap time, but save ERS. That's good. I like that play. I'm starting to levitate because my master plan is starting to work. Lando Norris goes through again, but little does he know, that's all part of my master plan. And here we go again, a little bit of ERS to the inside. I should be by, yep, before the corner is even there. And that's what I'm going to do. Oh, gone off a little bit, don't worry, that's fine. That's what I'm going to try and do for a lot of this race. Keeping the overtakes clean as well is crucial. We don't want one of our two drivers going off and then allowing a Ferrari to come through. That would be horrible. An update on Max Verstappen's position. I believe he's actually fallen back a fair bit, and he might actually be lingering in a sort of P9 right now. Good news. Oh no! Charles Leclerc gets past Carlos Sainz. Where did he come from? I thought Sainz was way off it behind Leclerc. Carlos Sainz fighting Lando Norris. Lando Norris somehow manages to keep that place in P2. I have no idea how he's done that, but fair play to him, honestly. I might try and clear off a bit now. I've got a 0.9 gap. I'm gone. I'm out of here. It's not looking good for little Lando Norris. Will Carlos Sainz go for a move? Actually doesn't. Yes, he does. Fair enough to Carlos. Now, I need to stay a second ahead of Carlos. Wait, they're actually still scrapping. How? Lando Norris, what a defender. Go on, son. Oh my goodness, what's happened there? How has Leclerc got Lando Norris as well? And now Leclerc and Sainz are scrapping. It looks like Leclerc's actually going to get P2 off this because he has DRS. How has that occurred? And we are officially on the lap. We are going to box. Lovely stuff. Keeping outside of that DRS so that hopefully the Ferraris have a bit of a scrap and give me a bigger lead. That would be nice. Wouldn't it be nice if we were older, then we wouldn't have to wait so long. And here we go into the pits. I braked a little bit too early, but it's okay. And both Ferraris stay out? Huh? Interesting call by the Ferrari. So that obviously means that one of them is staying out an extra lap, the other is staying out 2 extra laps. Fernando Alonso also pitting. And is it just us two? It's me, Alonso, a Haas, an Alpine, and like a Williams. Wow. Okay. This could work. Actually, no, I don't know. The tyre dig isn't high enough for an undercut to be very powerful. I should have checked my tyre wear, and if they were okay, I should have stayed out an extra lap. Uh-oh. Well, the decision's been made now. All I need to do is get a decent outlap, and hopefully it's enough to keep me in the lead. But look at that in the bottom of your screen, in the bottom left. There are currently, oh no, there is about 6 or 7 cars split by 1.5 seconds. I need to come out ahead of all of them. That is crucial. I can't be in the DRS train. That's horrid. Okay, so one of the Ferraris have pitted. My teammate Lando Norris has pitted. And basically half of all the top runners have come in and their teammates stay out an extra lap. And this outlap has been pretty poor, I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, this is bad. We can see the Ferrari coming around the pit exit. Am I going to come out ahead? Yes, I am. So I am back out ahead by quite a big gap. Okay, so the undercut has actually worked. Nice. Come on. 3-second lead now. There is a downside though. Max Verstappen has actually come out right behind Charles Leclerc. And he's going to undercut the front 3. So Verstappen probably going to move up a few places here. And I am not feeling confident with these medium tyres. I don't know if they're fully warmed up yet, but they do not feel great whatsoever. Luckily for me though, Max Verstappen is inside Leclerc's DRS, so I'm going to hope that they have a bit of a scrap, and that's all I'm hoping for. They fight, I extend my lead, and that's about it. And there it is, Max Verstappen overtakes Leclerc. Alonso overtakes Leclerc. And now somehow Verstappen was 7 cars behind me. Now he's 1 car behind me. How has that occurred? Here come the other front runners. Sainz, Perez, Russell. Perez coming out on the hard tyre. Horrible strategy by him. Verstappen is going to come out ahead of them, I think. No. Verstappen comes out behind all those cars. That is very interesting, but also a massive positive. Lando Norris sets the fastest lap of the race at 27.9. That is a whole 1.2 seconds quicker than my best lap. What? Wait, that's a lie. No, that's 1 sec. Ignore me, I can't read or do basic maths. We do have a mid-race goal, though, to achieve a lap of 31.5. That should be easy. Norris currently outside the top 5, so I'm hoping that if he's got that kind of pace, he can move up a little bit. But as you can see in the bottom left of your screen, pretty much every car from P2 to P10 is stuck in a large DRS train. And I don't know if any movement's going to happen. Hang on, there is some movement going on. We have a yellow flag somewhere. Something has just happened. Something big, I believe. Don't be a random DNF. I think it's going to be a random DNF. We'll see, though. As I do manage to improve my lap time to a 28.8, but that's still nowhere near the leagues of Lando Norris, who did a what? 27.9? Yeesh. Lando Norris on the move. Up into the top 5 places. Go on, Lando Norris. What a driver. Let's hope he can push on and try and get onto the podium. Although, like I said, that DRS train is not fun. And he is currently 1.5 seconds away from the car ahead. It's going to be so difficult for him, but his pace seems really strong. So let's see what happens. And here we go. The final 3 laps begin now, with me with a 3-second lead over George Russell, who I believe has just made a move ahead of Sainz to get into P2. Lando Norris is catching, not by enough though. And the grip is starting to fall away from me. I can feel it. Although I did have my hot lap ERS on, so that might have been a contributing factor. As Sainz re-overtakes George Russell for P2, and then Russell gets back past Sainz. There's a great little battle going on there. But it's all helping me, do you know what I mean? So, carry on, lads. As Verstappen, a double overtake from Max Verstappen, gets ahead of Sainz and Russell, gets into P2. That's really bad for me, though. Yes, I will take the championship lead, but it ain't going to be by much. If Verstappen stayed in P4, I was looking at like a 10-point lead in the Drivers' Championship. Now, it's only going to be about like 3 or 4 points. Right, let's look behind us as we approach the final lap. Can Lando Norris do anything? He has got into that DRS. Carlos Sainz gets ahead of Max Verstappen. That is big for my title hopes. Thank you very much, Mr. Chili. As I come around the penultimate corner to begin the final lap of this race. Come on, Lando Norris. He's right in the mixture. We need a massive scrap to go down. Lando Norris can make bank off that. And he is not out of it yet. But for me, having never won my home... What? Leclerc out of the session? Okay, that was a bit of a shocker. But as I was saying, I have never had a good result here, like I keep saying. My best result being a P4, as Sainz and Verstappen are continuing to scrap, giving me even more of a lead. And honestly, this is the best the car has felt. Is it been my best personal driving? No. Is it the best the car has been? I think so. It has done everything I wanted it to do from a racing car. Like on old mediums, I'm still able to do the first part of Maggots and Beckett's like flat, which is just dumb. But let's see, down the back straight, on the hanger straight, I think this one's called. I really should know. Can something miraculous happen? Max Verstappen gets past Sainz, which is a bit of a bummer. Lando Norris with a double overtake and gets P2. Lando Norris, you absolute legend of the game. Ayrton Senna wins the Silverstone Grand Prix. For the first time ever, I have actually got on the podium. And I've not just got on the podium, I have won my home Grand Prix. And that's also a great race for Ayrton Senna. Lando Norris gets a double overtake on the final DRS straight to get onto the podium. What a driver. What a geezer. Come on. And here is your final finishing order. I convert an incredible pole position. Don't forget, my first ever hot lap round this track, an actual proper one where I didn't crash. And I out-qualify everyone by half a second. I go into the race, and even though I missed out on the fastest lap by a very large margin, if you actually take a look at the grid, I had a slower fastest lap than a lot of this grid. And I was 8 tenths off the fastest lap. I don't know how that's happened exactly. But wow, Max Verstappen with an incredible recovery. I believe he was down to P8 or P9 at one point, and using a great pit strategy and some good overtaking, manages to get up to P2, and Lando Norris on the final lap, the final straight, the final corners, does a double overtake to get past not only Carlos Sainz, who drops down 2 positions, but George Russell, who picks up 4 places and finishes in P5. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, we now lead by 4 points over Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen had a 3-point lead going into this race weekend. I now lead by 4. Still, incredibly tight margins. The only way I'm going to beat this guy is just consistently finishing ahead of him, which I know sounds obvious, but I mean, if I finish ahead of him once and then he finishes ahead of me, bosh, it's all back to square one. So, you know, 8 races in, and there's a 4-point gap in the Drivers' Championship. What a title fight this is turning out to be. And Lando Norris as well picks up 16 points with that fastest lap. So that puts him nowhere. He stays P9, however, he is only 2 points away from going up to P7. And with his current form, I can see him easily getting up into P3. And then in the Constructors, we lead by 3 points. We take the lead over Red Bull because Sergio Perez done one of his own and had a bit of a rotter. So we lead by 3 points, and honestly, Ferrari slowly drifting away, which we like to see. So that's going to be all from me. There's a very weird occurring theme going on here. My episode yesterday or the day before of My Team Career Mode was absolutely horrible. And then the episode before that was an absolute banger. So this was going to be a banger, whatever happened. And what a time to be alive. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Ayrton Senna Driver Career Mode. And I'll be back soon for some My Team Career Mode. See you then. Bye-bye.